my brother Super Cap because I really appreciate it. Shout out to Grown Men Talking. Already became the sponsor of tonight's show with a total of $20. Thank you for helping us keep the lights on. Grown Men Talking. Shout out to GMT. Thank you, bro.
No captivity.
GMT say, my guy, no cap. It was a blessing having you on the show Sunday. Had some great feedback. Blessings. Thank you, bro, man. Hey,
no cap.
just in case some of y'all don't know, I was on Grown Man Talking show last Sunday, and I had a blast, man. Shout out to Grown Man Talking, and shout out to his entire panel, all the ladies and all the gentlemen. I had a great show. I had a great time on his show. A lot of different opinions, very opinionated panel. Thank you for even giving me that warm embrace, GMT. Thank you. If you haven't subscribed to Grown Men Talking's channel yet, make sure y'all go subscribe to Grown Men Talking. It's an excellent brother, excellent channel.
GMT and Mingo.
Hey!
Hey, he should come on the panel. Like, he should definitely come on.
Come on up here, sir. Come on up here. By the way, is this a love offering or is this
no,
indentured servitude?
That's my dog. Those are for minutes.
No, don't influence him. He can.
No, that's my partner. I got his vote by proxy. Ask him. You want me to call him?
What up, Grown Man Talking? I appreciate you. Let me see. Grown Man Talking. That's another show I watch. Y'all check out my man Grown Man Talking right there. Y'all can see that. That's the name of this channel. Very good channel. I watch it every day. That's I got the idea from about having a panel with more than one person on here. I saw him one day doing it. He can have women, interesting topics, what have you. So I appreciate you, Grown Man Talking.
What's going on? What is going on, YouTube? We are live. We are back in the building. And shout out to you. So, check it. I got a good one for you. I'm talking about probably one of the best shows that I've ever done since I started you.
I'm excited.
So what up? Yo, me too. This is gonna be dope. Yo, Professor, you ready? You ready, Professor?
You ready? You ready?
Yo,
crazy.
Hey, Skinny.
My bad. Do it again.
Skinny, what up?
You need to hear it again. Do it again.
You ready, B? It's about to be crazy. It's about to be incredible.
Yo, all right. Y'all see the thumbnail, right? So we gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. These emotional, highly overly emotional men, how toxic they are to society, and how do we eradicate the emotions, right? How do we put the emotions to bed, right? So let's get into it. I know we're having some people because we have a lot of new followers. We got some fans. We got people that's having watch parties now of our show, and they're watching it in groups. So shout out to y'all. Much respect, much love to the watch party gangs. You know what I'm saying? Also, Meet to Marry, the reunion is out. So if you did not see it, check it out. The reunion is doing so good right now. It's only been up for a day and it's over 6,000 views, right?
Oh, that's good.
We're nearing, in 28 days, this channel has got almost 100,000 views.
Wow,
so the channel is
good.
doing good. We are moving up. Meet to Marry is a growing show. We are working on different things with production to up the scale of production. We're going to only make it better from here. I'm investing a lot of money into getting it to where it needs to be in order for y'all to be completely satisfied with your viewer experience. So my idea is to get this show onto major networks. So just stay tuned and keep watching, y'all. Meet to Marry is out there. Follow the link that my boy Skinny just dropped. He just dropped that in the chat. Take a look at that. But thank y'all so much for being here. Everybody, if you are currently in the building, do me a favor and hit the like button. Hit the like button for your boy. Likes are free, it costs you nothing, but it helps the algorithm. So do me a favor and hit the like button as you come into the room. All right, y'all. First of all, it feels like forever I haven't had a chance to huddle with my people, right? And it's not much of us on the panel today. You know what I'm saying? It's only right now, it's 4 of us. Kit's not here right now, and I think she got some stuff going on. So we gonna rock out with the 4 of us. If she chooses to come in, she's fam. She could come in here whenever she feels like it. But for now, I am completely happy with the people that's here today because this is gonna be a fun show for me. So
Question for
however
you.
y'all, yeah, talk to me.
Candace, you're outnumbered today.
What? Shut up. What made you pick this topic?
So
It's
you
the
know,
me.
yeah, because you know, what I realize is that there's a lot of people that's like really emotional, right? They don't really have much out of life. They're very on the downward spiral in life. And you know, instead of being a man and picking themselves up and becoming more of the man that they want to be, they look at other men and they envy them and they try to become the men that they feel like they, you know, would like to kind of live in their shoes. Right. So, you know, I wanted to kind of delve into that because that comes with emotions, right? It's a man that didn't really take his time to build himself. So instead of that, you get emotional, you get mad at other men for what they're doing in life. So I always say that literally to me, the most dangerous man on this world is an emotional man.
And that
the
caught
lucky
me.
part about this, right? But for the lucky part about this is a lot of those emotional guys are really soft. You know what I'm saying? They're soft as butter. The problem is that the emotion makes them feel tough. But then those be the ones you see in the club getting wrecked real quick, no matter how tall they are. So, you know, with that being said, I really wanted to get into this topic and break down some you know, what men have to say about emotional men, and then we can kind of get a little deeper into, you know, into the subject. So how y'all feel about that?
I'm cool with that. I've been talking about this for a long time since I've been on here.
All right, let's do it. I want all of y'all to participate heavy on this one. So let's get into the topic. I want 6 feet of y'all to talk. All of y'all.
Standing on each other's shoulders.
Can you get 6 feet and 6 of us? Because I'm gonna tell you something. I've been listening to Carl Thomas all day to get my emotion.
I'm emotional.
I'm trying to tell you.
So that's the song in my head. I'm hearing emotional damage.
Listen to Carl Thomas. I've been listening to Mariah Carey. Listen to all the songs that got emotion.
Oh, you got me feeling emotions. Okay, I get it.
There we go.
Yeah, I've been listening to all of it.
There we go. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself ready for this topic. You know what I mean?
The reason I asked was because of the book that my book is going to be released on February 28th. The pre-release is called Beyond Words. Basically, it is about paying attention to the emotional awareness of it all. The more emotionally aware we are, the better our conversations, versus being overly emotional, like we're talking about today, and unemotionally aware, and, you know, just ruining your life.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I asked, because it goes into that.
Okay.
Again, and I'm unsubscribing.
I'm gonna do my best not to sing again, man. You know, my wife told me I got a good voice though, so I try to use it.
She has to tell you that.
Damn. All right, let's get into the show. All right, y'all. Let's go.
When we get into the conversation of men opening up and being sensitive to their woman, it can get a little tricky because I don't believe in being too extreme. I don't believe in that extreme red pill position. However, if it becomes excessive where you're always opening up and always being soft to the point where you start to complain, whine, and express your emotions more than your woman does, that's when it becomes a problem. Now, there's nothing wrong with opening up and having a conversation and discussing how you feel on certain points, but when you start to complain and cry and whine and you find yourself being more feminine than your female, that's when it becomes a problem, and that's when the dynamics change. It'll change so much so when she takes more of a masculine frame and you take more of a feminine frame. So when it comes to opening up, you need to be extremely balanced. And make sure you don't become more emotional than your female. Females will tell you they want you to open up, but they will not tell you where the limits are.
All right, and I got one more for y'all.
Man in the world is the emotional man. Why? Because he's gonna do things out of anger. He's going to shoot up the school because he's angry. He's emotional. He's gonna go hurt someone or stab somebody because they were in their parking space. That's emotions. And many men that are locked up in our prison systems, guess what? It's because they're emotional. So I would argue that the most dangerous man is not the masculine man, but the emotional man.
Okay. So what's up, y'all? Let's get into the conversation. I'm gonna let y'all start it. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna get right back. But go ahead, y'all start it.
Who want to jump first? Because I can. I don't want to step on nobody's toes. You want to go first, Candace?
Nah, you go ahead. I'm always after y'all misspeak.
Ooh. Okay. Something changed since the last I saw you. No, I'm fucking with you. All right, messing with you. So look, check this out, man. I want everybody to think about that brother or that individual.
I just got that one. It went over my head. That was funny.
So I want everybody to think about that brother that he was from Houston, Texas, and he went out to Louisiana and drove his truck over all those innocent people. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember that? That was an extremely emotional dude because he couldn't get what he really wanted. This man been married, divorced 3 different times. None of the women that he was with respected him. He grew up a lame, a sucker, and he got treated as such. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of emotional dudes out here right now today looking for fake respect. And when they can't get fake respect, they feel like they're entitled to things in this world, like they're entitled to women. You know what I'm saying? And then when they don't get that, you'll see them. They be in their cars, hard arguing and bitching and moaning and doing all this type of stuff, man. And you know, these are dangerous individuals. They ain't gonna try to hurt the person that's actually hurting them. But when that boiling point happens, they're liable to do anything because the world don't respect them. The women don't respect them, nor do the men around them respect them. These are extremely dangerous individuals. And I tell men all the time, you need to check the guys that's in your circle. If you got any fella in your circle that doing all that hollering, hooping, hollering, screaming, and bitching and moaning because they ain't getting what they want, get rid of them quick. Them dudes
Do men recognize when they're about to cross that line from just expressing an emotion or being frustrated about something to being overly emotional?
So other men around them recognize it, but let me just be frank with you. The guys who haven't took a step back to analyze why it is that they are the common denominator, they don't recognize it because they choose not to. It's always somebody else's fault. I'm broke because it's somebody else's fault. I'm single because the women ain't acting right. I'm in my car because it's my mama or my daddy fault. Or
right. I don't like being around that nigga.
They always dance around themselves. They never take a step back and analyze why it is the reason why they're in the situation that they're in. These are guys that you got to. Women don't date them. Men don't work with them. Don't build with them. Don't talk to these dudes, man. Let them die off. Women, please don't let these dudes reproduce. Because if you just so happen to have a baby by a weak, sorry, sad sack like that, your kid is gonna grow up to be a weak, sorry, sad sack. Then you're gonna be spending the rest of your life analyzing your vajayjay because you're gonna be like, dang, my vajayjay is attracting weak dudes, weak, soft ass dudes. And then you're gonna be spending the rest of your life punishing him.
What do you feel about this? So Highway Skinny says, he says it's hard to call out those type of guys. He was like, a fight is always looming.
I was gonna say that.
I'm gonna say this, Skinny. I respect that because that is kind of true. That is kind of true.
Bless you.
Thank you.
There's a time and place where you call these guys out, but truth be told, you just don't be around them. Real men don't deal with. I don't want to cuss, but see us dudes, we just don't. When they start all that whining and complaining about life, man, you put distance between you like you put distance between you and a nagging bee. Right? You around a chick who ain't, you know what I'm saying, up the par, up the snuff, and she ain't bringing no value to your life like you bringing value to her life. You put distance between you two. That's how you do with these weak, sorry, sad sacks that we got out here. You put distance between you. Stop calling, stop hanging out with them. No, any opportunities you got, don't share it with him, because all he gonna do is F it up. And then he gonna come calling, crying, talking about, man, I lost that job because them people won't acting right. No, because you a sorry, emotional ass punk. That's why you lost that job.
Boo, 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 boo. You know what I'm saying? Yo, what's up, Professor? What's your thoughts on the topic?
Greetings and salutations to everybody.
Greetings and salutations.
What up, man?
No, so what our brother Chill was saying is correct. But I also have to look at this, that we have to look at who are these men growing up under. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. Women single moms raise boys to be the men their daughters don't want. Because these men grew up seeing their mothers being emotional. They grew up seeing their mothers not taking accountability. They grew up seeing a lot of these things. I'm not just putting this on the mothers, but the fathers need to be there. They grew up seeing a lot of these things happening in the household, and they then put that on them. And the hold that they have because their fathers are not there is they act out in an emotional way. So normally a father would stop all that from taking place, because like this, you're gonna stop being emotional. Say it with your chest, or hit you in the chest, whatever it is. That father is going to be there to stop that. Well, you don't have a father, you don't have a mentor, you don't have an uncle, an older brother to stop all that. What ends up happening is you grow up having these kids be emotional because they have a hole in their heart. They have a hole in their life that has not been fulfilled, and they're acting out in an emotional way. So that's why it's very important that men stop leaving these women as single mothers, and women stop becoming single mothers with these men that they don't want to be single mothers with. So that's where the biggest hole comes from, because again, these emotional men in this community are bad. Those are the ones that end up in jail. Those are the ones that end up hard on the streets, but when they get in court and they get that sentencing, they're crying like a little baby because they know they're going to be behind bars forever. It's the same ones that, like you said, they want to go pull out the blicky and blick all over the place. But when things start to happen, it's a problem. Those are also the guys that can't live by the phrase, the unexamined life is not a life worth living. They refuse to examine their life. They refuse to look around. They want to look around at and they'll point the finger at everybody else, not knowing that, guess what, you can change your situation. And I know this because having spoken to women before, they're like, well, this is a situation. This is a situation. Like, no, I can't, as a man, based upon how I look or the color of my skin or how my hair looks, make excuses for anybody else. I know what's out there. I know what detriments I could and possibly have, but that's not going to stop me from achieving what I want to achieve. And that comes from having mentors and fathers and uncles in your life that showed me, hey, you can't blame nobody but yourself, because no one cares about a man. You have to care about yourself. You come in this world by yourself, and no one will be to help you ruin your life. So you got to be a man. So whatever your situation is, if you can't get out of it, you need to figure a way out. So that's why I feel how I feel about this. So Chill, you're right on point with that one.
Hey, man,
so I have a question.
Go ahead. My bad.
As women, so two parts, like two particular groups of women. As mothers who may be raising boys, what mistakes do you guys or have you guys observed us making? And then as women dating these men, what mistakes do we women make in perpetuating that that womanhood in them?
I got you. So
that's a good question. That's a really
that was
question.
a really astute question. I appreciate it, and I'm glad we're actually talking about this, because this gives us an opportunity to actually talk about solutions rather than just punching down on, but be it women or men. You know what I'm saying?
I'm ready.
I got some stories. I got some stories. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So check this out. What I've been seeing and what I have seen throughout my 43 years on this earth. Once I finally realized and started paying attention to it, what women tend to do is, let's just say they had a child with obviously a man that they no longer respect. You know what I'm saying? They had a son. What they do with that son, single moms, what they tend to do, they tend to try to turn that son into the man that she never qualified for. You know what I'm saying? They try to turn that son into a man that will never leave. So what ends up happening is, like, let's just say, how fellas, you remember when you was young, 8, 9 years old, man, you get all this energy, you running around hooping and hollering, you want to go outside and play, and your mama quick, sit your ass down somewhere. Sit down. They try to strip that manliness out of you. They don't know what to do. They supposed to put you in front of a dominant man who's out here doing something, building stuff, doing things with his hands, working on cars, building houses, stuff like that. But they never do that because these guys aren't around them. So what they do is like, well, I'm gonna mold you into the guy I think you should be, a guy that I would love. But truth be told, they don't know. They don't love these guys. They don't respect them. They would never date them. And then these guys grow up. They grow up into, you know what I'm saying, fellas who, you know, bitch and moan, complain. You know, they're always hopping around. They're not solid in anything. Finances is a mess. Their dating history is a wreck. You know, constantly smoking weed, doing all types of drugs or whatever.
So,
you see these guys. All right, go ahead.
So you think
What up, Jasmine? How you doing?
Hey Jess, what role do you think a man's position in life, like where he is, plays in the responsibility that he's willing to take? Meaning, like, if a man is in a part of his life where he's not doing that much, do you think that lends to the emotional part of him, the overly emotional part of him, like the position in life that he's in? Do you think that has anything to do with it?
I feel like it does. It definitely do, because look, for us men, and I'm gonna speak to black men specifically. For us, it takes us a while because we a lot of us been groomed and raised by single mothers. We've all had. I've been in the system, so it felt like I was raised by a plethora of different moms. So it took me a while to find my niche, and it took me a while to do away with all these traits that was bestowed upon me. You know what I'm saying? It took me well into my 30s, late 30s, to actually for it to click and stop pointing my finger at everybody else and saying, oh, woe is me. It was them acting like this that made me react like that. Or it was her who treated me like this that made me act like that. You know what I'm saying? I stopped doing that because I'm the common denominator in all of these situations. You know what I'm saying? So for a guy to constantly get mad and he's not happy with his status in life, that's a guy who ain't taking the time out to find out that he is the common denominator, and he's in that position because of himself, not because of the world around him. Because here's the thing, this world don't give a damn about a crybaby ass dude. It just don't. It's gonna eat you up and ground you up into the talcum powder dust, and you'll be sitting in your car smoking the blunt, crying to everybody on the internet, because that's where you find your echo chamber.
So and check it, right? And check it. Right. I would even tell women that's looking to date men that is emotional, right? Let's say signs to look out for. Let's talk about that. What signs to look out for an emotional man if you're entering the dating market? One, a lot of emotional men love bomb, right?
Okay.
Meaning that they're the type of men that will be screaming out, you know, the day one that they meet you, how much they love you, how much they need you, how much you mean to them within the first day of meeting them. Right. So be careful for that. When you're dating, when you're looking to date someone that's overly emotional, that's a number one sign. When you get love bombed immediately, he might be overly buying you gifts. For what? He don't even know you. There's something that's making him drive off that love emotion that usually translate in other ways. I'll talk to a lot of women, especially in doing this process of creating this dating show. And a lot of women tell me, like, when they deal with men that can't control their emotions, the way that it started was, I need you. I can't do nothing without you. That type of man, dangerous man.
I think that men who are overly emotional, like, I don't know if it was Chill who said it or not, but afraid to self-evaluate. Because there's some men where there's a lot that you have to break down. And it is hard for a humble person to have humility. So someone who is who's hidden themselves in a certain cocoon of who they think they are, as opposed to actually looking at who they really are and growing into who they're supposed to be. I think that that's an issue. Like it makes me sad when a man cannot maintain his emotions, and that messes up a lot of things that could have been available to you in life.
Mhm.
Like having those emotions instead of like, so I understand that men grow up in certain households where they were taught to do a certain thing, but at what age is it your responsibility to go out there and learn how to accept the fact that like Chill was saying, okay, I keep going through this same different type of thing, same different type of thing with different people. I might be the common denominator. Let me look at myself and see at what age do you just decide that?
But
All
but my opinion, I want you to get this too, Professor. My opinion on that though is most men have to learn from other men taking them under their wing to teach them. And you got to ask yourself, how often are other men willing to teach other men that don't want to learn? So we have limits to our tolerance for ignorance. And when you deal with a man that's completely ignorant and he refuses to learn, you can't teach that man nothing. So yeah, that man might go off in the world and live the majority of his life like that. Now, those are the men that's in jail, or those are the men that's usually 6 feet deep very early in life, right? But you know,
What was that?
you might be 6
No,
feet deep very early in life.
I get it though, and it's absolutely true. Oh wait, no, I was gonna tell a story. I'll tell it in the back end because that case is still open, so I will tell
Oh,
it in the
God.
back end. But with the whole 6 feet deep thing, like a lot of men, because of their pride and their inability to control their emotion and see when the thing you may do to one person that may challenge them or whatever the case may be, you can't do to the other person because it's different when you're dealing with people who can maintain their emotions. We think clearer than the ones that don't. So, well, you
Right.
shut your face, Wall Street.
That
So,
go Wall Street. What's up, brother?
Wall
that
Street,
being
what up? What
said,
up?
a lot of men have lost their lives. A lot of people, but we're talking about men. A lot of men have lost their lives because of a lack of emotional awareness, because they want to feed the thing that they think makes them feel good, like makes them feel big. So yeah, that's absolutely true. You ain't saying nothing wrong. Shut
What
up,
up,
Wall
Shay?
Street.
Right.
Hey, I want my brother Professor to jump in on this
What up,
because
Shay?
I've been running
Shay,
my
what
mouth.
up?
And we need to hear from my brother Professor.
Nah, I don't have much, man. But
Okay, let me give y'all a scenario. Professor, I
okay.
want you to go first. I want you to go first. I want Professor. Scenario.
Okay.
Um
Somebody get the door.
I'm dating someone, right? And I'm purposeful in my dating, so there are a lot of questions being asked. And I noticed that there's a lot of things that this person is kind of checking off in my on my checklist. There's a prayer that I did to God after my divorce. It was more about intention than it was about him giving me the things that I want. And I shared it with this person, whatever the case may be. And then there's sometimes something comes up to where this person does not do something that is a non-negotiable for me. And at that point, we decide, okay, or I decide based on that information, it's not going to work. That person throws a fit and gets angry and carries a grudge about that. Tell me what you guys think about that situation.
All right. So off rip. That's
Wait,
that's
wait,
an
wait,
individual.
wait. We
No,
Professor,
you good. Go ahead.
Professor,
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Go ahead, chill. I'm fine.
nah,
Go
man, I
ahead.
don't want to do
No,
that.
he got something funny to
no,
say. Go
no,
ahead.
no. I'm saying keep that stream of consciousness going. Go ahead, man.
All right, look, off rip, you already know who that is. That is a guy who has, embodied his femininity way too freaking much. Because first of all, look, men, real men, we don't carry grudges. You know what I'm saying? We just move accordingly.
Exactly.
That's all it is. I'm not gonna hold a grudge with anybody because it's not that serious to me. One monkey don't stop no show.
So, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So men who hold grudges, they copied off that woman that raised them because women tend to hold grudges.
Or the
You
women
know,
that are around them.
yeah, the women that surround them. So all you seeing is just signs. These are signs, and I tell women all the time: if you see these signs, keep it in the back of your mind. Don't blow up on them or anything like that. Just keep it in the back of your mind that all right, this dude got some, you know what I'm saying, made tendencies. Let me see how it's because look, and I'm not bagging on my fellas because there's a plethora of fellas that come here and watch us. This ain't always about all the men. It's really not. You know what I'm saying? Classic man.
Right.
Classic. I know you will hold a grudge. I watch you, brother, and I seen you, and I know you will hold a grudge. You sharp dressing devil, you.
Is that Mr. Bull? Is that Mr.
Now you
Bull
got me
chicken?
want to look.
Nah, that's
Nah,
classic.
that's what you would
Yeah.
call it. That's
Yeah.
He was on episode 1.
Yeah, I
Episode
call it
one.
boiled chicken.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But holding the grudge is, and I can tell you, classic. 9 times out of 10, you was predominantly raised by a woman. These are traits that we tend to embody. I know this because I was around a bunch of women when I grew up, and I used to hold grudges. And holding grudges sometimes will mess you out of a bag, mess you out of a career, mess you out of a whole bunch of things because you're holding grudges. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the world punishes weak men. It punishes weak men. It punishes emotional men. It punishes men who don't know how to take a lick and keep on ticking. It just do. You'll find yourself constantly somewhere cowering in the corner or in your car, just punching at the ceiling. Oh, why does this keep happening to me? Because you refuse to take a step back and decipher what's really happening. You are the common denominator, men. You are. Any situation that's happened, you can't sit up there and say it was their fault. We don't have that luxury. We can't do that. Who cares if women do that? We ain't trying to be them. We the ones who can take that that jab on the chin and be like, all right, that was me. Because see, I left myself wide open for that jab. That's my fault. That's my fault. And you learn from it to become a bigger, better version of who you used to be. But see, this information can only work for a man who understands that he want to be a better version of what he used to be. It don't work for them sorry, sad, sack, be-made dudes. And I know we got some straight up fellas in our chat because they've been rocking with us since day one. So these ain't the guys I'm talking about. Ladies, y'all know the guys I'm talking about. The one that only met you the first day and he said, I love you. I feel like I love you.
And willing to drive hundreds of miles to come to you and visit and start a life.
Yes, yeah. Because when a man wants to do that and come and move with you, ladies, you already know you're dealing with a sorry, sad sack. Because real men ain't leaving their castle to come and live in your shed. We ain't doing that because we don't like to give up leverage.
But let me give some free game to the ladies.
I'm gonna say this, and then that's it. A man who's with you, he has no leverage, and he's willing to sit up there and come live up under you because he is ready to get brutally punished. He know that's what's going to happen.
Jesus,
it's the truth. He ain't lie.
No lies detected.
No lies detected.
I forgot what I was gonna say now. Classic man, he says, if a person lies to me or is purposefully disrespectful, then I'll hold a grudge. But for the most part, you're right. So that's not holding a grudge. That's just you being sober about how you let people into your life. You're just being sober about the access that you have. So you're not holding a grudge. You're just not forgetting what a person did. So if they're around you again, you know how to protect yourself. So that's not holding a grudge.
Right. I want to touch this. I want to touch this topic right here. What he's talking about here, because maybe this is something that we could delve into to help the brother out.
Yeah,
right?
hell yeah.
So KJ says, "What's up, everyone?" He says, "My ex stole $40K from me." He says, she said she took your identity and messed up your credit, and he was like now living with his mom. He says having a tough time letting go of all that anger, and also a hard time bouncing back. So any advice for the brother? Let Professor get this.
First of all, I'll say KJ, that's a messed up situation that you're in, man. I wouldn't want anybody to go through that. But here's the thing. All the anger is doing for you is just sitting there. It's not helping you out. It's not changing the situation. The situation's already done. If you tried to go through the proper procedures legally, then go through those procedures. But at the end of the day, so to you and Classic, at the end of the day, man, I know what my value was worth to them. So if she stole $40K and messed up my credit, guess what? I can get more money. Money's replaceable. I can get my credit back. You know, everybody has to go through sometimes people have to go through certain situations to be able to be better. If you look at a lobster has to make itself vulnerable has to shed its exoskeleton, sit behind a rock for a little bit, get itself together to grow a harder shell. So what I'm saying to you about that is, okay, this makes me see things differently next time. I'm not gonna hate every woman that I come across, but my eyes gonna be a little bit more wide open. So don't use your anger, man. If you're gonna use your anger to fuel you into becoming a better person and to getting everything you lost back times 2 or 10x it. That's how you look at it, man. At the end of the day, it's an experience. You learn from it, you keep it pushing. Because as men, no one cares about us. That's why I said it earlier. No one cares about men. No one cares about what happened. No one cares about this, that, the other. You're a man. You should have known better. That's what they'll tell you. So now get back on your feet, pull up your pants, and get back to work. It's not going to be easy, but nothing that's worth anything in life is going to be easy. So you have to get back up. I hate that you're going through it, brother. God bless. Hope everything gets better. But the only way things get better is if you get back up. Let that situation go. Forgive her, because that's the best thing. That's what's gonna hurt the most. I forgive you for doing what you did. I appreciate you for showing me this. For showing me this, I know what I was worth to you, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the lesson. So I forgive you, and I'm gonna live my life and watch them falter. At the end of the day, man, that's the best way. The best revenge is doing better for yourself.
Yep.
Right.
Yes, sir. Hey,
and you know
Oh, my bad. I do want to touch on that. I love it when
of course.
fellas come and talk, because I've felt like we should also use this as a time to actually give advice to men. So to my brother, what was his name? It was
KJ.
KJ, check this out, man. KJ, I want you to learn from this, because look, I'm gonna speak from my perspective. I've done the same thing. I was married for 20 plus years, and I trusted this woman. That woman got my social, my birth certificate, my social security card, because I was like, I don't need to keep up with that. She keep up with that stuff. See, what we need to learn from that is we have to take care of our business. A man that takes care of his business don't allow nobody to have that type of leverage over him. I'm not saying it's wrong for you to include somebody into your business, you know what I'm saying, like your finances and stuff like that, but at the same time you have to protect yourself. You feel what I'm saying? You need to protect yourself. Now what she did was egregious. I'm totally egregious, and what my brother professor said is absolutely right. The best revenge, the best dish served cold is your success. You know what I'm saying? Look at where you at right now.
Right.
All right, you stand with the moms. So I don't know what it is you do for a living, but brother, I will tell you this right now. I mean, this would be a perfect opportunity for you to go out here and get your CDLs. You know what I'm saying? While you living with your mom, and your cost for rent and all that stuff is super cheap. Go ahead and put that money away so you can pay for your CDL classes. And once you start doing your CDL classes, once you get your CDL, brother, I want you to go and get all your endorsements, every single one of them. And you know what? While we doing this show, I want to keep tabs on you, man. I want you to come back and check in with me. Come back and check in with me so I can keep an eye on your progress, because that's what you need right now. And let me tell you something. She gonna always keep tabs on you. Always keep tabs on you. She did this to you because, and I'm gonna be frank, she did this to you because she didn't respect you. See, when women respect a man, when they really respect a man, they'd be too terrified to do anything like that. Because when you're out that picture, they're gonna realize that they're gonna lose more than they're gonna gain. All right.
Right.
I know, classic man. I give real advice, baby. Yeah, real advice. Hey, best decision you probably made. You know what I'm saying? I hope you got all your endorsements too. Get all your endorsements. And she didn't respect you, and that's fine. I've been there too. I wasn't respected either. But once my life changed, once my status changed, once my finances changed, hey boo, hey big head. Oh, I got a copy of this. Do you need it? Yeah, no, man. You
know,
go ahead.
But see, like, I would say, like, don't never worry about money, right? I know it's hard, and at first you got to think like, how could I bounce back financially if I lose $40,000, if I lose $100,000?
Yeah.
But here's one thing that I always learned, that once you know how to get money, you'll always know how to get money. Anytime I ever lost money, I was able to make it right back. So money shouldn't be a reason why you hold on to anger, right? Anger is going to be a reason that's going to cause you to do something to now topple down into a place that you can't get out of. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem that a lot of men go through, holding on to a certain amount of anger because things happen to them then they make one split decision that changes the rest of their life. So the best thing you can do in this type of situation is to focus on yourself. Continue to focus on you. Build yourself up. Other women will come along, especially as you continue to grow, especially as you continue to do. But you want to find that woman while you're on your way up. And when you're on that way up, a real recognize real, right? So she'll notice that. And you'll be all right, man. You'll be all right. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Candace, you have any advice?
Yes, sir.
You guys, I'm over here smiling. You guys were saying everything. For me, I guess the best thing that you can do right now is focus on getting you to a place to where your emotions aren't tied to anything external, that you know who you are and what your purpose is, and people are just tools to get there. You either decide not to use that tool, use it for the time that it is beneficial, and put it down like an axe. Put it down when it's no longer sharp. Find another tool that's going to help you get to those places. You have to respect you, because if it's one thing I know is we can tell a lot about where we are in life with who we allow to affect our emotions and how.
Right.
So
And I don't want to take away from anything you just said, because I agree. Put down that axe, but I learned to sharpen my tools, right? So if I know that something is, if I know that a skill that I have is going dull, I tend to now work on how can I make that tool even sharper for the next task, right? So, keep an arsenal, like Candace said. I agree. Have an array of weapons and situations that can get you out of hard times, but also know how to sharpen the skills you have to get you to the next place. So
hold on. Let me add on to that. This is the Marine in me, okay? Marine in the cop in me. When I say that, I mean, if you are in a battle, especially someone who is where he is, he may not be strong enough or have the time enough to sharpen that axe right then. But he has the rest of the arsenal to go to. This isn't, once he runs out of bullets, he may not have the opportunity to reload magazines. So let's go to the next thing because of where he is in this situation. Now, when he's stronger, then he may be able to, people got to go over there a lot longer before they start attacking him. Certain things have to like wait a minute, because they have to come up with a strategy because he's doing it. So then he has the opportunity. Let me take the time to sharpen this axe and reload my clips. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Right.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, but that's also why it's important to have a good circle of friends, so that when you go through situations like this, you have people that you can turn to, not monetarily per se, but turn to be able to have these conversations with, to be able to talk to be able to say, this is what I'm feeling, and then also, seek some sort of therapy if your job provides it, or if you're able to do so. You have to do things like that. I will tell you a quick story, 2 quick stories real quick. Talking about having to examine your life, and when you figure, I had 2 back-to-back relationships. They were talking about my communication. I'm here on a live YouTube talking every Sunday, and they were saying my communication was bad. I didn't think I had poor communication when I got upset with them, but I had 2 back-to-back sets. So you know what I did? I went to therapy. I went through the process of figuring out where it's coming from and how I can get better at it. Because like I said before, I have to live by what I say. So if I say the unexamined life is a life not worth living, I'm going to examine my life and see what's going on. In addition to that, just so you know, just to bring it full circle, KJ, I had a business partner take over $25,000 of my money, right? I was definitely angry in that situation, but I also said, you know what, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I got it. And it put me in a bad situation. I'm not going to sit here and hold you. It put me in a very bad situation. But I was able to get out of that. So the same information, the same stuff I'm giving you is the same things I had to do for myself. Fortunately for me, I also had a group of people that I could turn to and have conversations with, because unfortunately my father passed when I was 11, but my mother and single mothers hear me out. My mother did one very good thing. She surrounded me by very good men, coaches, people in my church, people in my community. I was surrounded by very good men, including my uncle, who helped me or picked up the slack that my father, who was no longer here would have picked up had he been there. So it's very important to have a circle around you that you can sit on and lean on and have a conversations with while you're going through this process. And like Chill said, get your CDL, because once you get that, the world is your oyster. You can always have a job wherever you go, whatever state you live in. You always have a place to go.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
CDL, trade skill, HVAC, electrician, carpentry, those type of things, because they're in high demand. You know what I'm saying? And it's always going to keep money in your pocket. And I'm talking about a lot of money, so you can have the room, the headroom to do other things with your life. And I really choose CDL because it gives you enough time for you to be on your own by yourself, where you can really think about some of the mistakes that you made. Like my man just said, the comment was up there. If a woman doesn't respect you, there's going to be problems in a relationship. Yeah.
And vice versa.
Right. But see, that's the thing. Right. We know that. But see, being on your own gives you a time to analyze yourself and not focus on everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what a lot of brothers out here really need, because we can sit up there and point the finger at people all day. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this. That ain't going to solve near problem you got. All it's going to do is going to make them even worse. We have to take a step back and analyze ourselves. It's going to be people that's going to piss you off and try to get up under your skin. If it's a female doing that, she testing you. She trying to see if you're the guy that she really think you are or not. You know what I'm saying? So, things going to happen to us. It is our responsibility to be prepared for them. And not only that, to have the wherewithal to analyze ourselves and not sit up there and point the finger at everybody else, because it's us at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So how do we work around? Because unfortunately, we live in a world with these emotional men, right, that can't control themselves when things happen. So how do we live amongst them? Let's say they're at your job. Let's say they're at your they're one of your family members. You have to live amongst them. What do we do?
All right. So for me personally, I keep it short with the emotional guys, especially the guys in the corporate world where I work at, or even when I'm doing snow plowing, whatever. I don't ignore them, but I keep it short. If we at work, I'm only talking to you about work. I'm not talking to you about hanging out. I'm not talking to you about any of my plans. I'm not talking to you about nothing that I got going on, because, brother, I wouldn't build with you. You could be a threat to me. You know what I'm saying? And peep this, fellas, the emotional guys at work, they're going to do emotional things like women. So be mindful of what you say to them, because they'll be the first ones running to HR. So-and-so said this. He made the women feel bad. And they'll get you up out of there real quick. So, yeah, you got to be mindful. And if it's somebody in your family, I feel like when it's somebody in your family, I think it is, I'm not going to say it's our responsibility, but we should try to, coach them up. And if they don't listen, because I've been there, there's a very specific brother that I've tried to help. I really tried to help. That he's actually been on this show before, and I ain't trying to call no names or nothing, and I won't do that. But I've spent time trying to give this brother solid advice that could change his life, change his situation, and put him in a better spot. But this brother didn't want to listen. And now he doing the same old thing that he been doing since I met him. Sitting in his car, talking, complaining, whining, and smoking. And once you reach a certain point, that you just wash your hands of it, man. They ain't gonna never change, and you leave them alone. Be it family, be it friend, or whatever. Don't waste your time on trying to build somebody up, because what's going to end up happening is they're going to put themselves in a situation where they're going to try to break you down, because they ain't got nowhere to go. They're a ticking time bomb. I call them the killer simp. Ladies, watch out. Fellas, watch out. These dudes worthless.
Right. Yo, shout out to this content creator, husband and wife. Please, everyone, do me a favor. If you're watching this and you have not followed them yet, as soon, and I'm talking about immediately after you are done with this, go over there and subscribe. Shout out to y'all. Yo, they, not to mention, they've been reviewing Me to Marry. But when I tell you, it's so funny. Like I'm talking about, their commentary is hilarious. It has me on the floor every time they review the show. I want to thank the both of y'all so much, and I'm happy that y'all are over here today for me to actually give you the thanks and the rightful respect for you and your wife for basically helping Meet to Marry grow, right? Helping us get the views, helping us become a little further than we were before. And actually, no, I ain't gonna say a little. Let me not downplay that. Helping us become a lot further in this journey that we're all doing together than we were before. I really, really, really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Also, my boy Skinny, he just dropped their link. So do me a favor, if y'all are here right now, click on it real quick, go over there and hit the subscribe button. Let's grow each other's channels in this process, right? So hit that subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? And let's just do it big this year. So with that being said, y'all, and by the way, I gave Shay a wrench. Shay, stop deleting comments. But
you can't get that girl no power.
Yo, hold on, I gotta tell my wife I ate her steak yesterday. Everybody ate your steak.
Ooh.
So I'm sorry, babe. I'll go get you another one.
Yeah, I ate your steak. What you gonna do about it?
No, wait.
I'll go get another one right after the show. You know what I'm saying? I got
another one.
Fresh one.
Another one. A fresh steak, I promise.
Yeah.
So, so with that being said, y'all, I'm sorry. So y'all was in the middle of saying something, but I wanted to interject with that real quick, and also add, you know, my part to the emotional man that's in your family, your workspace, and how do we deal with them. I second chill, right? Just because people are your family, just because people are, you know, supposed to work around you, you deal with them in very small increments, right? You don't have to give too much attention. You don't have to engage in much of a conversation. Emotional men are dangerous. I don't care how you look at it. Even if you're soft, you can't physically do nothing to me, they'll do things to damage you in other ways. So for the ladies, stay away from emotional men. And you men, if you have an emotional man in your circle, get rid of him. ASAP. ASAP. Send him back to his car. Tell him drive off. Even if it, you know, just go, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. All right. So just saying.
Woo!
Jesus.
Yo, get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. Everybody, do me a favor and hit the like
button.
Send
it back to their car.
Damn. Not back to his apartment, not back to his house, not back to just to his car.
No.
Back
Go
to
drive
Oh my
off.
God.
You see the cars? You see the cars? You know what I'm saying? Go have a seat.
Something just hit Candace. I don't know what it is.
My stomach about to start hurting.
You over there drinking that scotch.
Shut up.
Yeah, but
And Hank,
Christmas lights behind
sir, these are not Christmas lights. It's a tree vine thingy that I wrapped around the bed. So stay out my bedroom.
Look like Christmas lights.
no,
Where
you're
Hank
gonna
at?
blind yourself.
Oh,
Look,
yeah,
you
because
gonna
Hank
blind
showed up, didn't say that. Shout out to Hank with the $2 super chat. He says, not the Christmas lights on the headboard. Shout out to you, Hank, my guy. What up? What up? So
there must be zip tied to that headboard.
Remember that.
They ain't moved yet.
Okay.
you stole it.
Absolutely classic, man.
You gotta put a pillow behind them pillars though, because it's gonna hit the wall. It'll make too much noise.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Emotional.
No,
And you know what's
absolutely.
so crazy? I actually said that on a IG post, and people were breaking. So I said that, and I continued it with fathers staying in their children's lives. And you know, I got a lot of kickback from that, from a lot of women saying like, "Yo, what do you mean? You know, why do they need their fathers? It doesn't matter who's in their life." No, we're not talking about any father. We're talking about a structured father. So when I say that, I have the mindset that I'm hoping that the father's a good man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just saying any man stay in your kid's life. No, if you're an emotional man, you might not need to be around your kids because you're going to raise them to offset that emotion with anger. And that's what happens. Men don't deal with emotions like women, right? We get emotional and we deal with emotions through anger and we want to fight, right? It's in us, right? It's part of our DNA. That's why we always say men are literally always on the cusp of fighting with another man. So we have to be careful and mindful what we say, right? Even if you live 2 states away in your car, we still got to be mindful how we move. Because if we try to go about it wrong, get you hurt. And we try not. We try not. We try not.
Yeah, but let me say something. Hey, black women, you guys can do an awful lot of things. You guys are probably the best women on the planet. I'll give you all those accolades. But the father needs to be in a life. And if you have a bad father, he made a bad decision. So, but fathers need to be in their sons and daughters' lives because the daughters need to get both sides and understand what the first love of a man should be. And fathers need to be in their son's life so we don't have your son on a t-shirt or behind bars or trying to raise bail money for him. So that's why these fathers are needed. And if the father passes away for whatever reason, similar to my father, you need to have a good circle of men that can, and not the ones you're messing with, but a good circle of men that can step in and raise that, because we have to get out of these emotional men. A lot of these, like I said, we got a lot of Ralph Tresvant dudes out here. There's a lot of dudes out here with sensitivity. We need, that's the biggest problem, man. Which
I
is
was about to say, and it's Skinny. I thought about Skinny Boy. Skinny Boy said, Mingo, don't sing no more. I'm gonna unsubscribe. So I'm not going to sing anymore. All right.
You need
I was about to sing it though.
But no, and that's the whole thing, man. Because if you look at, I ever talk to people like I have people that have been in the game, and I'm like, listen, the new guys don't do the game right. They want to knock out everybody. Instead of knocking out just one person, they want to knock out the whole block, and that's because they don't stick to the code because they're so emotional of how they do things. It's just ridiculous. So yes, women. Boys need men in their life. So stop getting with these dudes that ain't gonna be around. Stop pulling out your IUDs for dudes because he told you to. Stop getting knocked up by these dudes because you think it's cool. Marry before you carry. And if you ain't ready to be a wife, you shouldn't be ready to be a mother.
I second that. I 100% second that. I agree with that because it actually starts. I'm gonna be honest. Right now, with this current situation that we got with the plethora of emotional, dudes that's out here, it's gonna start with our ladies. Y'all gonna have to start, using discernment and what individuals you pick, because let's just keep it a buck. These emotional dudes, they ain't gonna hesitate to put a baby in you. You know what I'm saying?
In a minute.
The reason why they are the most dangerous is because they're thinking with a dangerous mindset. They're thinking like you. See, while you put a man and you're saying, look, check this out. And it's a fact. Y'all seen it. Any lady in this chat has seen it. They thinking just like you. You know how you get with a dude and you be like, I done been through enough, so I'm gonna get him before he get me. Yeah, well, that emotional dude is thinking the same way. Oh, I'm gonna knock her up before she leave me, because if I knock her up and put a baby in her, who gonna want her? These dudes are reckless. A man with nothing to lose, he ain't gonna think about putting a baby in you within the first 6 months of him knowing you. That a man with something to lose ain't gonna do that. We got too much to lose. We got to evaluate you. We got to verify that. Yeah, I could let this woman take on my legacy. You know what I'm saying? A dude just in his car smoking blunts, he ain't got shit to lose. He gonna put 44 cc's of his useless sperm in you, and it's gonna be a wrap. So, ladies,
so that he can argue with people about how bad of a person you are, and you won't let him see his child.
Right.
It's the reason, because we now realize who you are.
And ladies, y'all already know. You only look. The only reason why y'all, and I'm not saying it's good, bad, or whatever. What I'm simply saying is, I kind of get it. I get it. You doing things to a guy when you withhold that child, and when you do all this, you're doing it to try to punish him. There are some women who try to punish dudes that way is because they lost something. But then on the flip side, there are women who punish dudes because they didn't lose anything. She's like, I done gave this dude my guts for however many years. Now I got to punish you. I got to punish you. Because
So there's no
it's
other alternative. There's not another one. It's just that whenever that happens, women are trying to punish versus I might not I might be the one raising my child and I don't want certain things around my child and you're that certain thing. So if you can't get yourself together, I don't want you around our child. Could it be
that could be a
that?
possibility. I mean, look, we're gonna let that fly. That could be a possibility. All right.
But
So do y'all
hold on.
think that the majority of men that procreate with women, do you think they should be in their child's life, even if he's a toxic man or unhealthy figure of a man to that child? Do you think that he should
Yes.
still have that right?
Yes,
I
because it's not your because as a parent, it's not your job to keep them away from their father. You chose this dude. The child didn't choose their father. You chose this ain't good SOB. You chose this emotional SOB. You chose him. You know.
So
So
would
if
you protect your child from a toxic mother?
no, that's her mother. That is her mother. That is her mother. So at the end of the day, listen. Because that's their mother. I cannot. Who am I? I can't sit on these panels and say men need to be in a child's life, women need to be in a child's life, and then deny the mother of my child the opportunity to be around her. My daughter's mother is not the most non-toxic person, but that's what she grew up with, and she'll probably say I'm not the most non-toxic person either to her. But you know who had to make the decision when they turned 18? My daughter. My daughter said, you know what? There's things about my mom that I can see why you know this and this happened, and there's things about her I can see this, and there's things that my mom said about you that wasn't correct. So I know what that's like. So I listen. At the end of the day, you denying your child their other parent is not denying you. It's not denying them. It's denying that child the opportunity to be whole. So whether that person is toxic or not toxic, they have to be able to learn and decipher for themselves. But that is their parent. I can't take that away from them.
I don't know if I wholeheartly agree with that.
I definitely don't.
I know y'all don't.
You know,
It's fine, but I'm not taking my child away from their mother. I personally can't do it.
'Cause you're looking at it in a way like I'm not gonna take my children from their father, but if I see that anyone is putting pressure against my child's mental health, their purpose, I'm going to intervene. Now, the level of intervention depends on how severe the act or the situation is, but I'm
Right.
going to intervene, father or
Right.
not. And I'd want somebody to do the same for my children. That if I am not, if I am of danger to my children, and I am, doing whatever it is that's not good for my children, y'all make sure my children are straight because I'm the one not in the proper place. I'm not going to not accommodate. I'm not going to feed that in the person. So that means I'm thinking about them more than I'm thinking about that child who is innocent. If that person is no longer my spouse, they're in a
So
different position.
so you have to explain to me what is if
No, I have my we both hold on, professor. Hold on, professor. I need to address somebody who's pretending to be somebody else in here. I don't know who that is, but they pretending to be somebody else. You can say exactly who you are. No, my ex-husband does not have my kids. We have our kids together. And if you must know, my ex-husband illegally took my kids and transported them to a different city. Because he's law enforcement, I had to go through the proper channels because if I would have gone to get my children, I would have been in jail on some 1020 life. So
Yeah, we're not going to expose if you think you know people's business in the chat. We're not going to expose
Yeah, we're not doing that.
other people's business. That's not what we're doing here. So if you ever here doing that, you can bounce. It's cool. But what we're going to talk about is this, right? What I was saying, Professor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why I said I can't wholeheartedly agree with that because there are mothers, right?
William Grace.
So there are mothers that are toxic. We could agree to that, meaning that there's a woman right now that's leaving her child in the house so she can go to the club. There's a woman right now that's leaving her child somewhere so she could go on a trip. You cannot be around our kids.
See, I don't.
Well,
here's the thing. I don't see that as being toxic. I see that as being unfit. So I have to. So I guess we have to get a better definition of what you mean by toxic. Because to me, when it comes to toxicity, I'm thinking, well, she says this or does this. I'm not thinking if she's leaving our child, that's a different situation. If she's putting out, so I'm gonna say if they're putting our child at harm, like physical harm, like if a guy is a P word, then he's like a Jared from Subway or Diddy. then I'm not letting my child around. If he likes to Kuta Kente the kids, then that's a whole nother situation too. There ain't nobody gonna be putting stripes on my kids. You know, so it's certain things that I will not allow my child to be around. So it depends on what you're talking about when it comes to toxicity. So yeah, if she's leaving a kid at the household and she's going out, then that's a whole different. That's abandonment. That's an unfit mother.
I do want to say this. Oh, go
Shay,
ahead.
bring William back.
But she over there deleting.
No, Shay, I was trying to say something, but y'all were talking. I knew that's what the comments were, and I'm trying to tell her, get off him. I know it was aggravating to me at first too.
So look,
black women always deleting something.
I do want to say this. So look, I'm gonna say this. There are some people out here who do not need to have children. You know what I'm saying? The overly emotional guys, and then the vengeful, you know what I'm saying, disrespectful woman. Like there's just a certain class that don't deserve to have kids. But see, here's the thing: us as a community, we can't really stop. We can't stop people from impregnating. You know what I'm saying, or having kids. We can't stop it. There's a story where a single mother, her 2 kids froze to death because she was homeless in a van. You know what I'm saying? And instead of telling her baby, now I don't know the story. I could just only go on with the news posted, but she never told the baby father that she was homeless. She would just tell him, well, can you come get the kids? Can you take them for just a couple of days or whatever? And he told her, you know, I mean, nah, you know, I don't know what happened between them. I don't know if she was hoarding the kids from him or whatever, but you could look at him. I mean, I can't judge a book by a cover, but he looked dusty. He looked like a dusty dude to me, but he could have been I mean, he ain't homeless, so he must be doing something right. You know what I'm saying? And look, there are situations where you wish you could control, but you just can't. So my best way to try to control that is to start putting out the good message and giving people solutions so they can avoid these things from happening. We can't overturn several generations of damage in one night, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. It's gonna have to be, the message is just going to have to seep through, and people going to have better practices versus just going out here and finding the weakest dude you can find because you ain't got nobody in your age bracket that's willing to take you up off the market. And then you let this dusty ass dude put a baby in you. That's going to be a toxic situation. Women need to have better discernment, and then men, wait until you are solidified and that you got your shit together before you go out here and make a life-changing decision. That's the biggest problem. Both women and men today are going out here making life-changing decisions, and they're not ready and they're not built for it. And then that's the problem. That's what we need to. That's what we need to nip in the butt.
Right. And I know. Oh, go ahead.
Hank got it. So So Dusty, he looked like one, and he was. So he couldn't. The brother, and then it seemed like he didn't even care. It seemed like he didn't care. He didn't care that those 2 kids froze to death. You know what I'm saying? And it's bad. Dusty dudes do not deserve vagina. All right, they just don't. They don't. Hold on to your hot pocket.
I know that's right.
But and so the answer to go to Kites. I know they said I disagree with that entirely. If a destructive trait is around my child, you open the door for that destructive trait to flourish, and my child will have the same issues. That's incorrect. So just so you know, my father, who's passed away, like I said earlier, was in the streets. My father dropped out in 8th grade after he had his first daughter. My father was abusive toward my mother. I watched it. So sisters, if y'all happen to see this, I'm sorry because I never told y'all. But I've never had, my mom even went so far to ask a girlfriend of mine, hey, does he ever hit you? I've never hit a woman. I haven't been in the streets. So those traits didn't stick with me. And my father was in my life to the day he died. So that's not correct. That what you're saying is not 100% correct because of what I saw.
But it's not 100% incorrect.
It's not 100% correct either. What I'm saying is what I saw made me adverse to wanting to, even if they ever came up, I would never do that to a woman anyway. But what I'm saying is what I saw made me adverse to that. So.
But you also did say that the one thing your mom did for you was surround you with good men. So you had more influence intentionally.
After my father passed. that wasn't before he passed. It was after he passed. Was I surrounded by good men? So what I'm saying is, because there was no other men in my, like if that wasn't the case, I would have grown up with just my mother and my two sisters. So my mom put me around men so that I can get the other part of my life from 12 to 18 about what I needed, and then keep those guys. I mean, I still talk to some of these guys to this day, and they're in their 70s now. And I know when one of them passes, it's gonna hurt me real bad. It's gonna hurt like my own family member passed. So what I'm saying is, just because someone has a toxic trait, whether they like anything that's not abusing the child, and being a child, there's a lot of things that encompass that. If you just don't, if they're just someone who speaks poorly, or maybe they smoke this or do this, and they drink too much, whatever it is, I'm not keeping my child from that person.
Yeah, no, not that. That's trivial things.
Hey,
right.
It was something I did want to speak on, man. And I think it was what Hink said though. Basically, that if you live with your mom, you're basically homeless because you're not standing on your own 2 feet. So, you know, for the fellas out there who think just because you live with your mother, look, you're not ready for the real world. You're just not. I get it. The economy is horrible. You know what I'm saying? The price of eggs is high. Rent is high. It just is. But the man who can become self-sufficient in this climate, that's a man that women are looking for. You know? And then the man who's living, you know, with his mother, driving her car and all that stuff, that's the guy that women are looking to punish. That's always been the case. They're looking to punish you because they know you'll take it, because you have no choice. Listen and learn. And I land my plane right there.
You on mute, bro.
Oh,
he knows he's on mute.
No, I didn't know I was on mute. I didn't know I was on
Oh.
mute. I was dealing with a few things at the same time. I'm sorry about that, y'all.
Trying to figure out where to get that steak from.
Oh man. It says LOL, how you had your dad in all your lives, but he passed away, I should say, when you were 12 years old. Isn't that your life?
So that's it. I think he's talking to me. So
yeah,
if I was born and he died at 11, when he passed away, that was all of my life, from 1 to 11. I didn't live he wasn't there when I was 12. So all the life I had lived, he passed away. That was all life I lived. I ain't lived no other lives. I wasn't reincarnated. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man, nah. Candace had to sneeze, yo. She had to sneeze.
I was like, "What's going on, girl?" He was like,
So I mean, this is a good topic, right? So the other part to this, the last part before we go, right? Because y'all know I'm lazy and I only give an hour and a half show. So the last part to this that I wanted to talk about was, how do we put this emotional crap to bed, right? How do we end this next generation of emotional men? I want to go around the panel. I would like to start with, I'm gonna go this way. So I'm gonna start with Professor and I'm gonna move around. Professor.
All right.
I wasn't even ready. I was trying to react to kites. So what's that question again? How do we change it?
How do we work on curbing this? Because we'll never eradicate the emotional man, right? He's always going to be a part of society, right? But how do we make it to where the emotional man is less prevalent in our community?
Very simple. Women, stop giving your womb to these dusty dudes, these emotional guys. Men, stop getting these women pregnant. That's how we stop it. So when you get a woman pregnant, you should stay in her life. And I'm hypocritical because my daughter's 21 this year, and I wasn't in her life the whole time, as far as every day. So all her life, as some people would say, although whatever. So, but no, it's when you have a child, it should be within a marriage. So we have to stop thinking as marriage is a bad thing, or I'm too young, or it's too early, or whatever it is, and go back to valuing marriage. When we start going back to valuing marriage like we did prior to the 1970s and have kids within a nuclear household, then those kids can be raised, whether even if you get divorced, that's cool. At least that child can be raised by two parents, the father and the mother, as it's intended to be. So when we get away from that, we get a lot of these emotional men. So how do we get back? Is we need to get back to valuing marriage and relationship.
Right. Shout out to On There Next. He just did a review. Get out of our cars. Yo, man, gas is high, man. I don't know how people can sit in their car all day and just, talk. But look, On The Next right now says he actually just did a reaction to Meet to Marry episode 1. So do me a favor, y'all got to go over there and watch that. My guy gave us a good review. Thank you so much, my brother, for doing that.
Yes, sir.
Greatly appreciate it. And make sure y'all subscribe. Let's build these communities out here. All right. Chill. Talk to me.
Oh, me? Oh, all right. So how we gonna eradicate this situation, so to speak?
Because I said it's never gonna be eradicated. We're talking about making it to where it's less prevalent in our community.
Well, here's the thing. And I'm gonna speak to the men. So, truth be told, we have no business being around these fellas at all. We could try to game them up, and that's just going to be in us to try to game these individuals up. And if nothing takes, if they're constantly still complaining that the world, woe is me, and why is this, why is that, and they crying in their car and all this mess, just separate yourself from them. Nothing ever going to change. So what ends up going to happen is society is going to handle these guys on its own. This earth has a knack for getting rid of the virus, and dudes who ain't built to withstand the pressure of this world, they're going to be grounded up into talcum powder dust anyway. So pretty soon they're going to find their way up out the door, just like the undesirables, you know what I'm saying? And these are undesirable. We call them the bargain bin folks. The bargain bin folks are sitting up here punching to the ceiling saying, I don't like my options. Well, guess what, baby? Guess what, brother? Y'all are in the same box. That's it. For the fellas and for the ladies who do have time, who do have options, who do got a runway, separate yourself from these individuals. And in time, they will X themselves out by nature. Because there's always a group of, and no diss to anybody. This ain't no diss to nobody, but there's always a group of women coming up and they need to learn skills, traits from the older ones. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. And it is upon the women to give real game to the younger women coming up. Not no dysfunctional game that's going to make them go out here and sleep with a pookie and get knocked up. Let's not do that. Let's not repeat the same stuff that got us here in the first place. And then to the fellas, to these soft be-made dudes who always want to complain, woe is me, fellas, if you got something going on in your life, get them dudes away from you, because them are the dudes who are hating on you secretly, and they are looking for an opportunity to destroy whatever you got so they could pull you right back down to that crab in the barrel position where they at. And they'll be like, see, I told you that wasn't going to work out. I told you that wasn't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? You should just come sit in the car with me and do a podcast, you know?
As long as I can invite somebody who doesn't know what nationality they are. Is that okay, Chill? Is that okay, Chill? Can I do a podcast like that? If I sit in my car, can I bring somebody on who doesn't know their nationality?
Oh man!
That's how they switch every week.
Oh Lord, that man, nah, man, you gotta look. Bring somebody on that know who they are. You know what I'm saying? And preferably somebody who ain't scared to admit their age, man, and somebody who ain't scared to, like, be using filters and everything, trying to make themselves look younger. No, damn well, you got craters and dots all on your face, your hands wrinkled.
No, he done let him out. Go back in. No.
Like, you got look. Everybody in the chat, man, you want to be surrounded by people who are comfortable in their skin, because when you're comfortable in your skin, that's a sign of confidence. When you got to sit up there and always use filters and makeup to hide who you are, that's a lack of confidence. Them people are dangerous, just like the Dusties and the Bookies.
Dang. We dangerous because we wear.
Because that's gonna be next week's topic. Them dangerous females. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna get on the. Today was the men. We're gonna talk about the women next week, man, and the type of women that men and women need to stay clear from.
Got to leave them alone.
Clear. So that's next week. That's definitely next week's topic. We got a $2 super chat from my guy. Hit the basement. Shout out to you. He says, I'm feeling emotional about that headboard.
That's your face.
All I know is whoever is on top gonna get blinded. So
and we still got our eyesight, and still got our eyesight.
I'm trying to figure out if it goes with the music that you're playing at the time. Does it go with the same rhythm? How does
some Barry right?
Like that?
I am the music.
Okay. Just make it clap.
Oh man!
Hey, but you know it's good that you do have a headboard, because some people just have a back seat. I get it. I get it. Some people just have a back seat to bring people too, because they got to put all the. No, they can't. They can't get that.
Hotel, you mean motel, man, with the mini fridge in the back. We know.
Oh, wait,
you got to.
You can see the desk.
Go where they
lead. You can see the desk with the mirror on it right there in the back. The desk.
The whole mirror.
Yes.
You talk about where they leave the light on for you at.
Yeah, you can't turn it off because there's no switch. You gotta sleep with that light on all night long.
They got the roof. The roof is one of the colors of my shirt. It's a red roof.
My heart.
Was the best in the West? Is it best in the West? Is it best in the West?
Oh man, y'all! I have fun with this, y'all. Candace, what's up? How do we break down the next generation so we could minimize the emotional men in our community?
I'm going to talk to the women. Stand 10 toes down. So, one, do the work on you, because, like I said before, you know a lot about yourself by who you choose and who you allow to stay in your life. So, do the work on you. Next, when you have certain boundaries, and you know those are solid boundaries, not from a place of pain, but not from a place of wanting to heal pain, but from a place of wanting to promote peace, stick to those boundaries. A lot of times we give them what it is that fuels the womanness in them by treating them like they're our children. It is not our job to instill anything emotionally. It is our job to make sure that we don't do anything negative to affect their emotion and to foster and to add. But to maintain them, it is not our job. So do not assume the responsibility that a man has for himself to do. And standing 10 toes down, I mean, if something is a non-negotiable for you, don't let anyone's emotions guilt you about what you should be doing. Don't let anyone's emotions guilt you into staying. Don't let anyone's emotions guilt you into allowing a certain thing again. If you know you've addressed it, you know you've given them the opportunity, step away. Don't be the thing that keeps them going. Let somebody else do it. Be the thing that cares about them so much that you will walk away so that they can find the right thing, because that's not you. So yeah, right. That's my piece.
I'm with that. And I got some things to say about this, because what I'm realizing is, especially as I'm growing, doing what I'm doing in many different ways of life, I'm coming across all types of people, and I don't want anyone to fail, right? I want everyone in my circle or that's around me to win, or even if you and I are on the outs, I still want you to win, right? So actually, you know what, y'all? Let me make myself big for this one. Time to get out your car. Time to get out your car and handle business like a man. It's time to build yourself up and grow. It's time to handle business like a man. Do what you have to do to be a man in this lifetime. And let's stop complaining about why life is not giving us what we feel like we deserve. You don't deserve anything. You deserve what you put out there in this world, and you get that back. So those of you, there's specific people that know I'm talking to them, talking to you. Do better. That's all. And then I think those emotions, the rage that you feel inside when you're punching the headboard of your car and you're slamming on your steering wheel, those emotions will go away once you start to build yourself up. That's just my point.
Yeah. Shoot, you standing tall, GMT. It's like almost like you like 7 feet, 6'6".
Yeah,
I don't know.
dude,
You
look, I can actually put my head up and I'm not hitting nothing. Not hitting the ceiling.
I will say this though. He's tall. That brother tall in person, man. But one thing I noticed about him, he don't lead with his height. He don't lead with his height. He don't constantly talk, well, I'm a big dude. I'm 6 foot, whatever. Because that ain't his only accomplishments. He actually got accomplishments versus somebody who ain't did nothing.
Hurt.
But I like what you said too, Candace. A woman needs to stand 10 toes down, not 10 toes in the air. I got you. Work on herself and not let somebody work up on her.
That wasn't where I was going, but we'll go.
10 toes. Okay. 10 toes down and not 10 toes in the air. Yo, you stupid.
A lot of these women got 10 toes up in the air and let people work on them.
Yo,
and women. When I say women, I mean me. At some point, don't let nobody like gaslight you. Just because you feel like they're willing to go above and beyond or whatever the case may be. No, you are a catch. That's exactly what they want to do, is get you to accommodate them. And I'll do this and I'll do this. I'm going to do. If it's like it seems too good to be true, question that stuff. Question it, because most times it's a lie and they just looking for a place to stay.
Oh,
GMT gonna need a warning label before this show, because my epilepsy acting up.
Yeah, I've been laughing on the inside. Like, whew, feel like I got indigestion, boy. Because, ladies, I'm telling y'all, man, start asking that brother, whoever you start dealing with, stop asking. First, ask them what they do for a living. Ask them what they do for a living. And right then and there, if they work at a restaurant and they claim it's like a 5-star restaurant or something, yeah, nah. You don't want to mess with no server. You know what I'm saying? Every night, man. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta smell good to work in one of those.
They gonna always have food, though, I tell you
that. Listen, y'all doing too much. Y'all doing too much. All right, y'all. Y'all know my lazy behind is gonna get up off of here. But I wanted to thank everyone. Thank you to the channel mods for holding it down in the chat. Thank you so much for everybody that's currently watching. And if you're watching on the replay, do me a favor. Hit the like button as soon as you get this notification. So thank y'all so much for being here. We are in the midst of filming season 2 of Me to Marry. So we'll roughly have about a 3-week before we drop season 2, episode 1. So stay tuned. We're going to be doing plenty of interviews and all of that in the upcoming weeks. Plus, we're going to continue with these shows to keep y'all thoroughly entertained. Thank y'all so much for joining us today on a Sunday. And I pray that all of y'all have a blessed, great, wonderful week. And I will see y'all on the next one.
much.